advertising specials. Book now and be wowed with party deals and good advertising coverage. Call our sales and marketing department. Options apply.
Caribjet, the most experienced travel agency company in Grenada, serving our clients and businesses for over 40 years. IATA accredited, we issue tickets on 280 airlines, representatives for Condor, the German airlines, and main agents for Virgin, KLM and Air France. We're specialists to the Middle East. Walk in to our ticket office at Maurice Bishop Highway, call 439-4444, WhatsApp 534-7755 or visit caribjet.com.
The Healing of the Nation life-changing crusade is back, and 2023 promises to be bigger and better. Soul-searching dynamic preaching, awesome worship, testimonies, healing and deliverance on Sunday 11th to Friday the 16th June 2023 at the Bellevue Recreational Ground, 7 p.m. nightly, with evangelist Selwyn Hailing and a powerful convergence of evangelical churches in St. David's to declare Jesus Christ as Lord. Healing of the Nation Crusade, Sunday 11th to Friday the 16th of June 2023. Bellevue Recreational Ground, a renewal of God's given mission to reach all of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Not about church. It's for the kingdom and glory of God. Align yourself with what God is doing in this season. You can't afford to miss it.
Hello and welcome to the MTV Evening News for Monday the 5th of June, and the news headlines are in association with Quartz Grenada Limited.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz you can get, we got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and
who was found guilty of non-capital murder. Mistaken identity dampens the spirit of family members of Cuthbert Mark, and Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell discusses future plans with his constituents. In sport, Redmond crowns champions of the 2023 NLA St. Mark Cricket Tournament. We'll have details to those and other stories along with the public forecast information. It's all coming up for you right after the break. Stay with us.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News comes to you compliments Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, yes, I can. Whenever you're in need, yes, you can. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening, I'm Tony Julian with the details. On Monday, the green light was given to proceed with an appeal in the Mitch Phillip non-capital murder trial. A sentence of 23 years was handed down to the Victoria St. Mark resident back in April 2023. Phillip was found guilty of causing the death of Chanel Alexis, who was pronounced dead on the 30th of May 2020 at the General Hospital. Keyshawn Thomas starts us off this evening with this story.
With respect to the matter involving Mitch Phillip, who is currently at Her Majesty's prison, and you may recall that a jury had convicted Mr. Phillip of non-capital murder in circumstances where we believe he has a fantastic ground of appeal. Well, today we received a notice from the Court of Appeal in St. Lucia that the defense, that we can go ahead and file our papers so that his appeal can be heard.
Phillip was 49 years old when police charged him for the death of the young mother, and according to attorney at law Jerry Edwin, he should not have been convicted of non-capital murder. At this time, the only challenge is that they will have to wait until the next sitting of the Court of Appeal, which is scheduled for July 3rd.
The only difficulty we have in that is the length of the transcript for the appeal means that it may be some time, likely at the next sitting of the Court of Appeal, when Mr. Phillip's appeal will be heard.
According to Edwin, they are assertive in this appeal as he believes that Mitch Phillip is innocent.
Let me say that we remain confident that there are several grounds on which Mitch Phillip can appeal his conviction, and we intend to raise each and every one of those issues with the appellate panel. But for now, what I can say is that the Court of Appeal has given us the green light to proceed with that appeal. And once we received the transcript, which I expect is quite voluminous, then we will make our representations. And as I guess, so will the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to say they support the conviction. We, of course, are on the other side and are saying that Mr. Phillip should never have been convicted for non-capital murder. So that's the state of Mitch Phillip's appeal.
Kishon Thomas, MTV News.
The family of Cuthbert Mark had a slight moment of happiness over the weekend, following a report by the police that he had been found. However, the happiness was quickly removed when it was later confirmed that it was a case of mistaken identity. We get more from Nikita Holston.
According to Samantha Mark, the niece of Cuthbert Mark, since her uncle went missing, there was numerous reports of individuals citing him in different areas. However, it was always a case of mistaken identity.
We've been saying that they've seen him everywhere, and it's like we've been, been searching all over, following leads of what people are saying, and apparently the person that they're seeing is not him. So right now it's like we was chasing a ghost. So, so right now the family is still urging the public into helping. If it is that's him they see, to really pay attention to the flyer, Well, when I got the news, I was very relieved. I was happy that he was home safe. I then called my mom and she said that it wasn't true. That when my mom called to follow up that information, they said that wasn't true. Somebody did that. They have no recognition of that because they say that he's back with family, and that's not true, because if he was back with family, he's right there. So yeah, just to keep an eye out and just be careful on the identity and so on, because they've been taking his identity a lot of times.
Mark says the search continues for her uncle and is appealing to the public to continue helping with the search.
No, still a zero from the police, and it's very sad knowing that somebody like that, who's out there alone, and we're not sure if they're hurt or anything, and the police is just basically just they wondering, and it's ridiculous, because I've been calling and I haven't gotten no feedback. So right now we're just really, really to the point of frustration, and so right now we just waiting still and just still urging the public into helping.
Mark, who is from Belmont to St. George, was last seen on Monday, 15th May 2023, after coming from the General Hospital, and his family has not seen him since. His last known location was around the Fall Edge area after midnight on May 15th. Nikita Holston, MTV News.
Meanwhile, it's been 5 days since 16-year-old Zakim Philip went missing. The juvenile, according to a police report, ran away from his place of residence. Zakim, also known as Pamol, is a student of Concord St. John. He's about 5 feet 8 inches in height, of slim build and brown in complexion with black hair. The police continue to seek the help of the general public in locating the 16-year-old. In other news this evening, the recent female teenagers who were reported missing themselves by the Royal Grenada Police Force over 2 weeks ago were found and have been returned home safe and sound. However, some concerns have been expressed by the Child Protection Authority, CPA. According to Corporate Communications Officer at the CPA, Blossom Alexis Welsh, in a recent interview with MTV News, they are concerned that the public is not taking these reports as seriously as they should.
The Child Protection Authority is encouraging members of the public to take these missing teen reports seriously. We can understand that with the frequency with which you see these notices that sometimes we tend to disregard them. But please be mindful that once a missing teen report has been issued, it is because these young men and women have left home without permission or knowledge of their parents or guardians, and we are trying to get them back to safety.
She also highlighted some factors that could lead to the disappearance of these teens, which can also include abuse or neglect.
There could be varying reasons why these young men and women leave home without notifying their parents or guardians. And that could include wanting to spend time with a friend or wanting to spend time with another family member who they fear they may not get permission to spend time with. Whatever the reasons they have left home, that's beside the point. What we need to do is get them to safety and get to the root cause of why they left home. Is it an instance of child abuse in the home? Is there an instance of you just wanting to, as we say here locally, get your own way? But what we need to do is find them, ensure that they are safe, and or get them back to safety.
However, Alexis Welsh dispels rumors that these young women often run away from home to spend time with the opposite sex, which is not always the case in most situations. Meanwhile, there is a second delay for the Spanish trial, according to Attorney-at-Law Jerry Edwin. 2 years after police labeled the 2018 death of Shaniel Blackman as a homicide, a breakthrough has been made. Ricardo Edgar, 33-year-old maintenance worker who is from St. Paul, St. George, was on Wednesday, the 27th of May 2020, charged for causing Blackman's death. According to Edwin, the second delay is due to Mr. Howard Pinnock, who is a prosecutor, being ill.
We have experienced yet another delay, and it is through no fault of anyone. The prosecutor, Senior Crown Counsel Mr. Howard Pinnock, has unfortunately fallen ill and is unavailable until the end of his sick leave. And there is no circumstance in which I, as counsel for Ricardo Edgar, would want this matter to proceed without my friend Mr. Pinnock. And so the case should continue on Friday because Thursday is Corpus Christi. And I trust that my friend will have a speedy recovery and we can return to this matter, which we hope will conclude at the end of next week.
Edwin explained that only 2 more witnesses are to be heard in this trial, and he is hopeful that by Friday the trial will continue.
There are only 2 more witnesses to be heard. The prime witness for the Crown against Mr. Edgar himself has complained of illness, and so he has to come back to the stand to be cross-examined. Right now, the chief investigator, the police officer who has investigated this allegation that Ricardo Edgar is responsible for the death of Shaniel Blackman, that police officer is on the stand right now.
That's the first segment of the news here on MTV. We'll be back with you right after the break.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever your road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever your road leads, we'll make your dreams come true.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Make money, money, money. $3,000 every week for 3 months.
What?
Yes, it's the NLA's Crazy Cash Giveaway Promotion. Every week from April 11th to June 30th, 3 lucky Daily Games customers will randomly win $1,000 each week. Imagine winning as much as $36,000 in 12 weeks.
How?
Spend $12 in a single purchase on Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Play Away. Look for the words Cash Winner on your tickets to collect $1,000. The more you spend $12 on your favorite daily games, the more chances you have to win. Must be 18 or older to participate. All prizes must be collected by July 7th, 2023. Other terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. NLA, making your dreams come true. Money, money, money.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
A natural disaster can change your life in minutes. Preparation is the best protection for your family and business. Prepare now. Create a disaster plan and make sure everyone knows what to do. Store water, non-perishable food, and medication. Remember basic emergency supplies such as batteries and flashlights. Trim overhanging trees. If trees near power lines are unsafe to trim, call Grenlec at 237 for assistance or advice. Install surge protectors to safeguard your electrical devices against outages and intermittent surges. Make sure your generator has an isolation switch. It will prevent power from feeding to our lines and electrocuting others. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back. Following a walkthrough in the parish of St. David, Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for St. David, Deacon Mitchell, on Thursday the 1st of June, met with residents in the area to discuss some future plans for the development of areas within the communities. We have more on it in this report.
Building communities through the development of its people and resources continues to be one of the main focuses of the parliamentary representative for St. David and Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Speaking at a meeting with residents of St. David on Thursday, which followed a walkthrough in the parish, Prime Minister Mitchell made mention of plans to have a community centre in different areas in St. David, one of which was the Belial Community Centre.
And so we expect that by the end of the month, we will be handing the community centre over to the community. And this is important because Belial has a community group. It will be their responsibility to look after, manage the community centre.
According to the Prime Minister, when these community centres are built, it is important to have proper internet, washroom and other facilities in place to ensure that it is usable for the people of St. David. He spoke too about the Beirut Community Centre.
The community of Beirut. We have volunteers who are also repairing the Beirut Community Centre using their own labour on weekends with no financial paid support. All they ask for is material assistance, which we've been able to provide to them, and they've begun the process of renovating their community centre on a complete volunteer basis.
Mondelez is not being left out as community groups are being formed to help with the renovation of the community centre there. In the community of Vincennes, according to the Prime Minister, a partnership with the state and the church will be taking place as they sought to find a suitable location.
And quite a few of the residents suggested this site. And so I like to listen to the residents. And once they suggested this site, we promptly wrote Father and said to him, since we've begun the partnership in Belial, we see no reason why that partnership between church and state and community should not continue. And they graciously agreed in a similar vein to say the site could be used for community development. So we are on a bit of a roll. I want to thank again publicly the church for agreeing to do so.
The Chinese will also be providing some much-needed assistance for this project as well. Chinese Ambassador Wei Hongtian was present at Thursday's gathering. The Prime Minister noted that these community centres are just the beginning of a wider transformation of the community to come. Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
There continue to be many complaints about the lack of attention given to agriculture by governments over the years. And according to Agriculture Minister Adrian Thomas, he, as a farmer himself, understands the plights faced within the sector. Speaking with a gathering in St. David on Thursday, the 1st of June, Minister Thomas explained that there are some plans which have already come on stream.
I don't think that for the last 10 years, agriculture has been given the kind of attention that it needs. For the last 10 months, we have given it more attention than it got for the last 10 years. I understand your complaint in regards to the roads, but we are in the process. We have identified many of the roads already. The Ministry of Works have already make some assessment of them, and we will be starting some of them where we can, because the rain is here soon, more than later.
The minister also used the opportunity to speak about a concern which was raised about pig production.
The pig production, we have a project coming up where we will be trying to improve the breeds of the diverse animals, pigs, small ruminants, cattle, you name it. And we will be coming. Keep your eyes and your ears open. In the next month or so, We will be offering some assistance in regards to livestock production. It is something that we want to pay particular attention to, because we have realized that Grenadians at this point in time are a bit addicted to meat. The level of addiction for meat in Grenada is very high, and therefore we want to improve the livestock production. So we will be coming, and agriculture is the industry that we want to develop in order to
13 new hospitality inductees received their certification of completion following a hospitality training program, HTP, which consisted of 10 weeks of on-the-job practical exposure and theoretical customer service sessions across various departments. The trainees were also exposed to service excellence training offered through the West Indies School of Hospitality, which gave them an edge in the fast-growing local job market. At the certification ceremony, guest speaker Anitha Bain, WISH Training Director, admonished the participants to keep learning and developing themselves through their professional journey, as she noted that regardless of where they are in their career paths, they ought to execute their services with excellence. The Grenada Women's Parliamentary Caucus met recently, where 10 members gathered at the Parliament building. Among the attendees were former Presidents of the Senate, Mrs. Joan Purcell and Mrs. Margaret Nichols, and current President of the Senate, Honourable Decima Williams. Sitting chairperson, the Honourable Clarice Modeste Cohen, spoke of the many achievements of the caucus, which were well recognized not only locally but also regionally as well as internationally. The chair also spoke about the work at hand, which includes a draft bill against sexual harassment in the workplace, which would be tabled in Parliament. Several recommendations were made for an agenda in going forward. These include training for women parliamentarians and reaching out to prospective young parliamentarians. That's the second segment of news here on MTV for this Monday evening. We have more coming up for you right after the break.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dryer it, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, assort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. SDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
The Healing of the Nation Life-Changing Crusade is back, and 2023 promises to be bigger and better. Soul-searching dynamic preaching, awesome worship, testimonies, healing and deliverance on Sunday 11th to Friday the 16th June 2023 at the Bellevue Recreational Ground, 7 p.m. nightly, with evangelist Selwyn Hailing and a powerful convergence of evangelical churches in St. David's to declare Jesus Christ as Lord. Healing of the Nation Crusade, Sunday 11th to Friday the 16th of June 2023. Bellevue Recreational Ground, a renewal of God's given mission to reach all of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Not about church. It's for the kingdom and glory of God. Align yourself with what God is doing in this season. You can't afford to miss it.
Business in 3 comes to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spice Isle.
Welcome back. Young men, are you looking for that unique bow tie that will speak volumes about you and your style? Or you just simply want to stand out when you're all decked out? Well, look no further. Cronia's Forest Bows has just what you're looking for. In this week's edition of MTV's Business in 3, host Donella Hostin speaks with creator of Cronia's Forest Bows, Denny Cronia, about his small business. It's fashion with a message.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this week's edition of MTV's Business in 3, sponsored by the GIDC. I am your host, Donella Hostin. Today we have with us Mr. Denny Cronier, the creator of Cronia's Forest Bows. Now, Mr. Cronier is going to tell us a little bit about what he does and why he does it.
So I'm Mr. Cronier, the creator of Cronier Forest Bows. Now we collect scrap materials from woodwork shops and a number of places, and we convert them into fashionable, sustainable, and unique wooden bow ties to suit your needs, your fashion style and design as men, children, etc. Now it's indeed a joy to be a part of the entrepreneurship, statistic of Grenada. It's my passion, it's driven from my teenage years, and it's also something that will be, evolving into new fields in the future.
So why is it that you got involved in this particular business?
It's kind of tricky because I didn't want to get involved in that business in the first place. Actually, I created my wooden bow ties for more, selfish basis where I wear my bow tie, my style, my flex. And it so happened that, GIDC hosted a Young Innovators Challenge, and one of my friends signed me up as part of the competition, receiving an email from GIDC thinking it was a scam, and it was not. So I ended up in the competition, and from there, going through the different stages, we end up on top, and here I am today.
All right. So just tell the listeners and viewers where they can find some of your creations.
So currently, Cronier Forest Bows this is whatever design that you desire. You can order it on Facebook. You can contact me 449-7008, and we do based on orders. So you make your order and we create based on the order that you demand. and we are located at Black Bay St. John's. Well, our prices for the bow ties are different based on the different designs. So it starts from 60 up to, you can go all the way up to 140, because currently we have like a new style coming out. We call it the Evangelist. Evangelists have to do with, you're not just wearing a tie for fashion's sake, but you wear a tie and you send a message. So to get those engravements on your tie, it will cost a little bit more than the ordinary tie. Hence the reason our price range goes as far as 60 up to 140. So you can get any other personalized designs on your tie. So you name it, we make it.
All right, there you have it, guys. We were speaking to Mr. Denny Cronier, and he just told you where you can find it and how you can order it. Right, so that is it. We're signing out for this week's edition of MTV's Business in 3, sponsored by the GIDC. I am your host, Donovan Hostan.
MTV Evening News Monday, regional highlights are coming up.
Business in 3 came to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spice Side.
Do you have or plan to start a business or project in the agribusiness, tourism, health and wellness, ICT, or energy sectors? You too can qualify for investment incentives such as duty-free concessions, tax credits, and tax waivers and exemption. Just fill in the application form, submit all the relevant documents, and your application can be processed in as little as 7 days. It's that simple. Contact us today to know more about investment incentives.
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it. Accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Welcome back. And now is Clifton James with this evening's Regional Roundup.
Good evening with tonight's MTV Regional Roundup. I am Clifton James. Former British Virgin Islands BVI Premier Andrew Fahy is likely to face trial on drugs and money laundering related charges alone after Olene Vine Maynard, the former managing director of the BVI Ports Authority, joined her son Kadim in signalling their intention to plead guilty. Fahy and Maynard were arrested in Miami in April 2022 following a sting operation led by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, while her son, accused of arranging meetings between the pair and the U.S. informant, was arrested in the United States Virgin Islands, USVI. The trio was scheduled to go to trial on July the 17th, but the Maynards, according to a recent Miami District Court filing, will appear in court on June the 12th to change their plea of not guilty. They are accused of conspiring to smuggle cocaine into the United States through the waters of the Virgin Islands. They also face charges of conspiracy to import a controlled substance, conspiracy to engage in money laundering, and attempted money laundering. Fahy and Maynard also pleaded not guilty to 1 count each of interstate and foreign travel in aid of racketeering, a charge that was not brought against Kadeem Maynard. The recent court filings did not state to which of the charges the Maynards plan to plead guilty, but a deal with the prosecutors could include the condition that they cooperate in the case against Fahy. Since their arrest, Fahy has been out on $1 million bail, wears an ankle monitor, and is under house arrest at an apartment in Florida, while the Maynards remained in custody. Now in Haiti, old cars, used tires, and barbed wire block off the biggest neighborhood in the capital of Haiti. Gun-tooting gangsters have been robbing, raping, and murdering the innocent. Weak or corrupt police and officials have done little or worse. Now the people are taking action, and a wave of brutal vigilante justice is roiling Haiti, concentrated in this capital of about 1 million. The vigilantes close off neighborhoods. They stone and often chop the limbs of suspected gangsters, behead them, and set them afire, sometimes while they're still alive. Vigilantes have killed at least 164 people since the movement dubbed Bouakale began in April, according to the United Nations. The name means peeled wood in Haitian Creole and insinuates male dominance and power in street slang. First Secretary at the Antigua and Barbuda mission to the United Nations, Asher Challenger was elected to serve as Vice President of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee (INC) on plastic pollution. Challenger was elected to the role unanimously during the second session of the INC, which concluded in Paris, France last Friday, a statement from the Prime Minister's office said. Challenger serves in the role as a representative of the Small Island Developing States, SIDS, and she's also given responsibilities as rapporteur for the committee, which is seeking to develop a binding legal agreement that will see to the end of plastic pollution across the globe. A draft of the treaty is expected to be completed before their next session in Nairobi, Kenya, this November. Challenger, who has been a diplomat at Antigua and Barbuda's mission since 2016, expressed her commitment to working to ensure the globe's waters remain plastic-free. That was your look around the region. I am Clifton James.
This is the MTV Evening News. We'll be back with you after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it. Accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
You're watching the MTV Evening News. Sporting highlights are next.
Big money, money, money. $3,000 every week for 3 months.
What?
Yes, it's the NLA's Crazy Cash Giveaway Promotion. Every week from April 11th to June 30th, 3 lucky Daily Games customers will randomly win $1,000 each week. Imagine winning as much as $36,000 in 12 weeks. How? Spend $12 in a single purchase on Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway. Look for the words Cash Winner on your tickets to collect $1,000. The more you spend $12 on your favorite daily games, the more chances you have to win. Must be 18 or older to participate. All prizes must be collected by July 7th, 2023. Other terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. NLA, making your dreams come true.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
Redmud crowns champions of 2023 NLA St. Mark Cricket Tournament. That highlight and more coming up for you in our sporting segment.
The MTV Evening Sports is brought to you in association with Courts, bringing value home.
We got stoves, cook it, fry it, bake it, stew it, poach it, eat it, drink it, slurp it. At Quartz, you can get it. We got fridges, slurp it, chill it, freeze it, store it, crisp it, pack it, and stack it. At Quartz, you can get it. Wash or dryer it, wash it, fluff it, spin it, dry it, clean it, fold it, wear it, assort it, and soak it. Rinse it, load it. SDA gon' make you blend it, crush it, toast it. At Quartz, you can get it.
A special evening to you now, sporting fans. We turn things over to Donella Holston for this evening's sporting highlights.
Good evening, sporting fans. A 7-wicket victory over Youths in the final of the 2023 National Lotteries Authority-sponsored St. Mark Cricket Tournament, played at the Alston George Park on Saturday, landed the Red Mud Junior Cricket team their 3rd consecutive title in as many years and the rights to be called champions of cricket in St. Mark. The Red Mud team, under the captaincy of former national player Micah Narine, dominated the encounter from its inception. Despite periodic resistance from the Oskey Barry-led opposition, their target of 102 for 9 wickets from 17 overs proved a walk in the park for the Red Mud outfit, who achieved their target with some 9 overs remaining. Youths below par total were built around a fighting knock of 25 from Denroy Simpson. He had good support from Shamori Mark, who scored 16, and Randy Morris 13. Captain Mike Anarine was the pick of the Red Mud bowling, capturing 4 wickets for 5 runs from his 3 overs. Also contributing with the ball were Ruel Williams and Raphael Fletcher, capturing 2 wickets each. Red Mud, in pursuit of victory, reached their target in 7 overs. Clifton Mark top scoring with 27. Other contributions with the bat came from Mike Narayan, who finished with 26 not out, and Sunil Narayan, who was 13 not out when victory was achieved. Final scores: Youths batted first, scoring 106 for 9 from 17 overs. Red Mud 107 for 3 from 7 overs, claimed victory by 7 wickets. Grenadian athlete Philip Marcel opened his 2023 season with a 20.94 second performance in the men's 200 meter at the Music Track Carnival in Nashville. Here is a video of the race from the Grenada National Olympics team's Facebook page.
Means the only runner under 21 seconds so far in 2023. Clean start in our third and final section of the men's 200-meter dash. There's Ibrahim Husseini of Ghana making very good ground running in lane number 5. They make the turn, and it's still pretty even. There on the inside, Jolene Means from the United States running very quickly in lane 3, trying to catch Hilton. And in 5, Husseini.
The Grenada Olympic Committee held its strategic planning workshop on Saturday at the Olympic headquarters in Montrouge. The workshop was facilitated by consultant Aaron Moses. The session was well attended, with 15 of the 17 affiliates being present. Also participating were other key stakeholders like Ministry of Sports, the National Sports Council, and Grenada National Anti-Doping Organization. The strategic plan is being financed by Olympic Solidarity. Grenada men's physique competitor Odell Cato placed 3rd in the men's physique category, and amateur bodybuilding competitor Charleston Miller placed 2nd in the bodybuilding category in the 2023 IFBB Roger Boyce Classic Pro Qualifier event hosted by the Barbados Amateur Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation. Head coach and IFBB Pro Vaughn Francis and the president of the Grenada Bodybuilding, Weightlifting and Fitness Federation, Cecil Mitchell, also traveled with the athletes. The event was held at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium, Barbados on Thursday, June 1st to Sunday, June 4th, and featured female and male competitors from across the region vying for the first place title in various categories. And that's it for this evening's sports. I am Donella Hostin.
Thank you, Donella, for the latest here in sport. And viewers, when we return, we'll have the public forecast information for you, and then a recap of the latest stories.
The MTV Evening Sports was brought to you in association with Quartz, bringing value home.
MTV Weather Report comes to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec. We are united even when we are apart.
Good Monday evening, viewers, once again with the nighttime with the forecast and meteorologist Dwayne Williams. Much welcome showers greeted the start of the work week with some heavy showers during the morning time. Those lasted into the early part of the afternoon in most parts of the island. The central and northern areas did continue to receive heavy showers during parts of the afternoon. An area of cloudiness still persists over the extreme southern Caribbean and could bring us some more showers during the early part of tonight. In the meantime, we do have 2 more tropical waves approaching the islands. The first one, not any significant cloudiness with it. And right now, upper-level winds still remain unfavorable for development of any of those systems. The second wave is much further back as it approaches the islands. We could possibly see some cloudiness developing. With that one already, it has showers and 1 or 2 thunder showers embedded in the cloudiness associated with it. Right now, main concern, that area of cloudiness. Right now, those steps moving in towards the islands. As I said, it could bring us some showers, even though we're not seeing many showers embedded in that area at the moment. Just a few echoes remaining. Most of the cloudiness, most of the showers have already ended. We do have some echoes still around, but the main areas of rain have already dissipated. Clear skies into the nighttime. The forecast for Monday night is for some early scattered showers, lots of moonlight to enjoy. About a 60% chance of those early showers. The winds will be easterly between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Minimum temperature of 24. The moon rose at 8:23 a little early on. It's going to set at 8 in the morning. Generally fair conditions are in the forecast for Tuesday, with easterly winds between 12 and 22 miles per hour. There still is about a 30 to 40% chance of showers, mostly in the early morning, but most likely the pre-dawn period. Seas would be normal with 4 to 6 foot waves. Sunrise is 5:41, sunset 6:29. A high of 32. It will feel more like 34. Generally fair skies in Port of Spain, some morning showers for Bridgetown, and mostly sunny in Kingston. Thunder showers continue in Miami with partly cloudy conditions in both New York and London. Back here to home, with a 40 to 50% chance, 1 or 2 isolated showers again in the very early morning. Generally fair conditions after that from Thursday into the weekend. By the latter part of the weekend, most from Sunday into Sunday afternoon, the possibility exists of partly cloudy conditions developing lasting into Monday with about a 40% chance of showers. Then generally fair conditions are expected from Tuesday. That is it for me for Monday night, folks. Have yourself a great night. Remember, you can join me again on Tuesday.
MTV Weather Report was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And now to end the news, a recap of the headlines. An appeal has been granted for Mitch Phillip, who was found guilty of non-capital murder. Mistaken identity has dampened the spirit of relatives of Cuthbert Mark. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is discussing future plans with his constituents. And in sport, Redmouth Crowns, congratulations to them on being champions of the 2023 NLA St. Mark Cricket Tournament. We've had details to those and other stories to look to at the public forecast information right here on Monday evening's MTV News Major. And so now, on behalf of the news and production departments and Tony Julian, we all thank you for viewing and wish you a good night.
We are everywhere. Magic 88.9.
Hello. Hi.
Don't you dare touch the dial. Magic 88.9 FM.
We are on Magic 88.9.
Magic FM in Guam.
Oh yeah, great news, and that's great news for the whole of Grenada. I just walked the whole island with Liquor Radio, and I pick up Magic FM 88.9 right from the island. And that's not all, you know. You could get MTV on channel 18 on cable and channel 10 on Green Dot.
But wait, you can also get MTV on channel 9 and 10 with just your regular TV with your Rabbit's antenna.
So you mean I could get MTV anywhere in Grenada with all cable or Green Dot?
Yes, MTV extend the reach through the whole island.
Magic 88.9.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Raphael John Thomas, also known as Grain and Bath, of the Villa Victoria St. Mark, passed away on Sunday 14th May 2023 at the age of 70. He was the father of Cuthbert Charles, Neva, Akeisha, Orsky, and Nadisha Barry, stepfather of Rodney, Ron, Jason, and Wayne Barry, grandfather of Otterson, Meisha, Nathan, Zedhari, Jazinio, Ron, Sean, and Kellen, brother of Maria, Ben, Stephen, Ellen, Yvonne and Carol in Grenada, Evadine, Ina, Yvette, Daphne, Eugene, Owen, Joseph, Price, and Poxy in the USA, and Philip in Trinidad, stepson of Catherine Scott, nephew of Vic Scott, brother-in-law of Gertrude Thomas, uncle of many including Dave, Antone, Gasson, Wayne, Neela, Maureen, Andy, Marina, Marlene, Andalyn, Stefan, and Gaynell, granduncle of many including Antonio, Garth, Nickel, and us. Caregivers Nurse Sheila De Silva, Denisha Phillip, Doreen Scott, and Lankar Charles. Many other relatives and friends including Stephanie Barry, Michael Sylvester, Vaughan Charles, Jerry Ann Barry, Roderick Crosby, Pat Fletcher, Chanel Sylvan, Kellon Paul, Miss Dawn, Merrill Tyson and family, the Scott, Martin, Thomas and Barry families, Hurricane and the Villa football clubs, past cricket umpires, and friends and neighbours of the Villa and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Raphael John Thomas, also known as Grain and Bath, of the Villa Victoria St. Mark, will take place on Tuesday, June 6th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Victoria RC Church, and interment will be at the Coast Guard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Thomas A. George, also known as Mason, and Sasae of Guave St. John, who resided at Upper Capital, St. James St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 13th May, at the age of 88. He was the father of Agnes, Albert, and Felix Lyons, Shirley DeRaveney, and Jeremiah George, grandfather of many, including Kim and Jesson Lyons and Kenisa Roberts, great-grandfather of many, too numerous to mention. Sister of Erica John in the USA, Magdalene O'Brandy in the UK, and Cecilia Clark in Grenada. Caregivers Michelle Bernard and John Renerick. Many other relatives and close friends including Lyons and George families, Clark family, Esther Henry Fleury, the management and staff of the St. Martin Home for the Aged, Mrs. Yolam Bean Horsford, Friends of St. Matthew's Roman Catholic Church in Brushgrove, and neighbors of Upper Capital, St. James, St. Andrew, and Guave St. John's surrounding areas, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Thomas A. George, also known as Mason, and Sasae of Guave St. John, who resided at Upper Capital, St. James, St. Andrew, will take place privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Yvette Cynthia Sayers of Hope St. Andrew, who resided in the United Kingdom and at the St. Martin's Home, Crowshoe St. Andrew, passed away on Wednesday, 24th May 2023, at the age of 71. She was the sister of Roderick Sayers and Stanley Collier in Grenada, Ken, Selby and Leslie Collier, Wendy Dagbia and Lisa Noel in the UK, aunt of Nadia Collier, Fiona Alexander, Jade Dagbia, and Camden Montplaisir, Chelsea and Perry in the UK, Sean Collier, Ashley Dagbia, Julian and Warren Collier, grand aunt of Grace, Nicole, Tiana, Shantae, Noel and Leon, Kira Rose and Beau, sister-in-law of Raphael Noel in the United Kingdom, Laurel Sayers and Virginia Collier. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Faye and Twine, Gemma Braffett, Alwyn Sayers, Jennifer Lord in the UK, Shirley Felix, Suzanne and Cheryl Sayers in Trinidad, and friends and neighbors of Hope and in the United Kingdom. The funeral of the late Yvette Cynthia Sayers of Hope St. Andrew, who resided in the United Kingdom and at the St. Martin's Home, Crowshoe St. Andrew, will take place on Monday, June 5th at 10 a.m. Funeral service will be held at the Garden of Remembrance Funeral Chapel, Cemetery Hill, St. George's, according to Pentecostal rites, followed by cremation. Arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Bernadine Doris Jeremiah, also known as Mrs. Doris and Sis Jerry, of Maho, Crowshoe, who resided at Hope St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday, 18th May 2023 in the USA, at the age of 90. She was the mother of Mildred, Stella, Jean, Samuel, Vanita, Ezekiel, and Maudlin in the USA, and Glorine in Grenada. Mother-in-law of Terry Jones, Sylvester Johnson, Raymond Francis, and Barrington Johnson. Grandmother of 15, including Elliot, Natasha, and Ishmael. Great-grandmother of 8. Sister of John Paul in the USA, Lillian Pascal in Trinidad, and Cleve Paul in England. Aunt of many including Veronica Paul, Elvis, Stephen, Miriam, Janice, Dossier, Roseanne Paul, and William Guillaume. Many cousins including the Mantis family of Ledigue, the Jeremiah family of Felix Park, the John family of Union, the Regis family of Pomrose, Benedict Jeremiah, Past Leo Fleury and family, and the Phillips family of Carriacou. Former caregivers Brenda Nichols of Tuileries and Laverne Noel of the Villa Road Soubise. Many other relatives and friends including the pastors, elders, and members of the Ebenezer SDA in New York, the St. David, Moncton, Crowshoe, and Soubise Seventh-day Adventist churches, Pastor and Sister O'Neill of Beauséjour, Pastor and Sister Andrews of Seamoon, Pastor and Sister Gittens of La Pastora, Brother Joseph and Sister Perlina Sylvester, Jeanette Agard and family, Brother Roll and Sister Gail Ferguson, Bernadette Joseph and family, Teresa Reason of Laborie, Mr. and Mrs. Stanley Mason, Phyllis Date, Mr. and Mrs. Wilmington, and Yvonne Wright of Hope, Carlisle James of Felix Park, and friends and neighbors of St. David, Crowshoe, Hope, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Bernadine Doris Jeremiah, also known as Mrs. Doris and Sis Jerry, of Maho Crowshoe, who resided at Hope St. Andrew, will take place on Thursday, June 8th in the USA. Funeral service will be held at the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, Brooklyn, New York, and interment will be at the Pine Lawn Cemetery, Long Island, New York. Arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Alice Agneta Foster of Defoe Springs, St. George, died on Friday, May 26, 2023, at the age of 87. Left to mourn are her grandchildren Carvel, Carl, Chad, Callis, Carla Foster, and Caroline Garrett. Great-grandchildren Kyle, Jaquan, Jaden, Ava, Nathan, Avery, Grace, and Carleen. Close friends, the Julian family, and Talisha Isaac. Other family and friends including the Pilgrim family, the Lett family, and the Dominic family of Springs, St. George. The funeral service for the late Alice Agneta Foster of Defoe Springs, St. George, will take place on Friday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at Bailey's Chapel, Carenage, St. George, and interment will be at the Wilberforce Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Roy Alfred Griffith, also known as Jack Fred, of Woodland, St. George, passed away on Friday, 19th May 2023, at the age of 87. He was the father of Jennifer Pilgrim, Hazel Griffith, Mary Shepherd, Raphael, DJ Ali, Van Telesford, Victor Smith, and Judy Ann. Grandfather of 21, great-grandfather of 30, brother of Novell and Marvin Weeks, uncle of many, father-in-law of Keith, Trevor, and Aldi Ann Smith, brother-in-law of Pastor Royston Gilbert, caregiver Mary Cutie Joseph. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including the Gilbert family, the Joseph and Patrick families of Grandmall, the Weeks and Hines families, members of the Springs Open Bible Church, and friends and neighbors of Springs, Belmont, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Roy Alfred Griffith, also known as Jack Fred, of Woodland, St. George, will take place on Friday, June 9th at 1 p.m. Funeral service and interment will be at the Woodlands Family Cemetery, according to Open Bible Rites. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Jason Nicole Joseph, also known as Jay, of Vendham, St. George, an employee of the Inland Revenue Department, Ministry of Finance, passed away on Thursday, 11th May 2023, at the age of 43. Left to mourn are his son Craig Joseph, parents Altheus and Josephine Maureen Joseph, siblings Dale Joseph Lessie, Gerald John, and Patty Joseph, nephew and niece Stephen Lessie and Melissa Chase, aunts and uncles Vincent Joseph, Peter Joseph in the USA, Michael Joseph in Trinidad, Jocelyn Marine, David Alexander, Agnes Humphrey, Shirley Oliver in the USA, Louise Mitchell, and Elizabeth Lacaille in Trinidad. Brother-in-law Stephen Lessie. Many other close relatives and friends including Ann Gale James, Henry Cooper, Rudolph Daniel, Reginald Cummings, the Daniel family of Vendham and Willis, Agnes Humphrey and family of Birchgrove, the Stephen, Walker, and Francis families of Vendham, Cynthia Lambert and family, Janet Sylvester and family, Marva Nelson and family, Betty Turnbull, Jacqueline Leben, Marva and Virginia Modeste and families in Trinidad, Nurse Susie Ann Walker and Paula Jones, Marcel Charles, Michael Moses, Lynette and Devon Castle, colleagues at the Ministry of Finance, the PBC graduating class of 1996, and neighbors and friends of Vendham and surrounding areas, and many other relatives and friends, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for the late Jason Nicole Joseph, also known as Jay, of Vendham, St. George, will take place on Monday, June 12th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Our Lady Help of Christians RC Church, Beaulieu, St. George, and interment will be at the Vendham Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Alison Batiste of Caливani St. George died on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023, at the age of 66. Alison will be lovingly forever treasured as the sibling of Kester, also known as Teacher Kester in the USA, Beverly in Canada, Erica in the USA, Devon and Danny in Trinidad. She was the mother of Lincus, Debbie, also known as Rafaela, and Carissa, grandmother of Aurora, Adora, and Alyssa, aunt of Mario, Ronald, also known as Wings, Natasha, Shamar, Daniel, and many wonderful others too numerous to be mentioned. Cousin of Naomi in the USA. Caregivers Leonie, Petra, Janelle, and Sharon. Mother-in-law of Frederica and Ranelle. Sister-in-law of Janine. Relative of the Newtons of Laborie, the Pilgrims of Belmont and Jean Anglais, and the Josephs of Carriacou. Lifelong friend of Anne Hines, Anne Smart, Sally Ann, Santille, Sperry, Nellie, Joy, Karen, and many loyal others, and friends and neighbors of Caливani and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Alison Batiste of Caливani St. George will take place on Tuesday, 13th June at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Caливani Community Centre according to Pentecostal rites, and interment will be at the Family Cemetery, Coker Road, St. George. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Cathy St. John Worm of Grand Anse St. George, who resided in New York, USA, passed away on Thursday, 17th February 2022 in New York at the age of 50. A funeral service was held on Saturday, 26th February 2022 in Brooklyn, New York. The funeral arrangements for the service to be held in Grenada will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Leisha Stanislaus, also known as Leish, of Guava Estate, St. John, a student of the St. John's Christian Secondary School, passed away on Wednesday, 31st May 2023, at the age of 17. The funeral arrangements for the late Leisha Stanislaus, also known as Leish, of Guava Estate, St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Augustus David King, also known as Zab, Beggs, and Augustus, of Bylands, who resided at Sab St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 3rd June 2023, at the age of 70. The funeral arrangements for the late Augustus David King, also known as Zab, Beggs, and Augustus, of Bylands, who resided at Sab St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Irene St. Hilaire, also known as Mother, of Dudmar St. David, passed away on Friday, 26th May 2023, at the age of 95. The funeral arrangements for the late Irene St. Hilaire, also known as Mother, of Dudmar St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Stephen Barry Cox of Redgate St. David died on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023, at the age of 61. The funeral arrangements for the late Stephen Barry Cox of Redgate St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Kim McSween, also known as Kim Cooper, of Grand Anse, who resided at Willis St. George, passed away on Monday, 29th May 2023, at the age of 49. The funeral arrangements for the late Kim McSween, also known as Kim Cooper, of Grand Anse, who resided at Willis St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Anne Bridgman, also known as Auntie Anne of Byland St. Andrew, passed away on Thursday, 25th May 2023, at the age of 97. The funeral arrangements for the late Anne Bridgman, also known as Auntie Anne of Byland St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Julian Donald Augustine, also known as Checker, of Harmony Hall, St. David, died on Saturday 27th May 2023 at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Julian Donald Augustine, also known as Checker, of Harmony Hall, St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Monica Mary Williams of Tempe St. George, an employee of Nawassa, passed away on Saturday, May 30th, 2023 in Trinidad at the age of 54. The funeral arrangements for the late Monica Mary Williams of Tempe St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Moses Gurry James, also known as Rose O and Papa Mose, of Chantilly St. Andrew, who resided at Duquesne St. Mark, passed away on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023, at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements for the late Moses Gurry James, also known as Rose O and Papa Mose, of Chantilly St. Andrew, who resided at Duquesne St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Rosanna Mitchell, also known as Tanti and Miss Rose, of Granton, New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Friday 26th May 2023 at the age of 79. The funeral arrangements for the late Rosanna Mitchell, also known as Tanti and Miss Rose, of Granton, New Hampshire St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Joycelyn Ringham of Montrose St. Patrick, who resided at Concord St. John, passed away on Friday 19th May 2023 at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Joycelyn Ringham of Montrose St. Patrick, who resided at Concord St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Jason St. Ambrose Barry, also known as Patch, of Shantimel St. Patrick, passed away on Saturday 27th May 2023 at the age of 48. The funeral arrangements for the late Jason St. Ambrose Barry, also known as Patch, of Shantimel St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Matilda Lucina Clouden, also known as Lucina and Center, of Burgles-Carriacou, passed away on Sunday 14th May 2023 at the age of 92. The funeral arrangements for the late Matilda Lucina Clouden, also known as Lucina and Center, of Burgles-Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Debbie Anderson of Birch Grove St. Andrew, who resided at New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Friday 19th May 2023 at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Debbie Anderson of Birch Grove St. Andrew, who resided at New Hampshire St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Imelda Lena Batiste, also known as Mama, of Shantimel St. Patrick, who resided in London, England, died on Monday, May 1st, 2023 in London, at the age of 67. The funeral arrangements for the late Imelda Lena Batiste, also known as Mama, of Shantimel St. Patrick, who resided in London, England, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Carlisle Wilson Joseph, also known as Kaya, of Willis, who resided at Molyneux St. George, died on Monday 15th May 2023 at the age of 81. The funeral arrangements for the late Carlisle Wilson Joseph, also known as Kaya, of Willis, who resided at Molyneux St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Raphael Joseph Mitchell of Café Crochet St. Andrew passed away on Wednesday 10th May 2023 at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Raphael Joseph Mitchell of Café Crochet St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Pastor Dr. Adrian Leroy Marast, also known as Bill, of Hope City St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, May 5th, 2023, at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements for the late Pastor Dr. Adrian Leroy Marast, also known as Bill, of Hope City St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thank you for watching.
I just want to express my sympathy with all those of you who have lost your loved ones. We know it is not an easy piece to lose somebody that you love dearly. But death is not the end, because the Bible tells us that there is life after death. My mind goes back to a man in the Bible named David, a man who at least he had a son by Uriah's wife, and the child got sick and died. In fact, the Bible says in verse 18 of 1 Samuel chapter 12, and it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died. The child died. But that was not the end. David began a series of mourning, laid on the ground, upon the earth, and he called on God to save his son so that he can have sweet fellowship. He wanted to have time with his son. He wanted to have his son grow up to be the person that he wanted him to be. He probably wanted to play the first cricket match, or he probably wanted to go kick the first football in the field. Or he wanted probably him to climb the first tree. But yet for all, the Bible says the child died. David in himself satisfied that the sovereign God who gives and takes is able to do great things. Then David arose, the Bible says, from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord to worship. David had the hope that he would see his beloved son again. And so, ladies and gentlemen out there that are in the mourning period,